Hi all, just a short presentation to give you some more information on you joining us in September. So normally we would invite you into school for this evening, which you would get the chance to meet everyone who's in your new tutor group. There should be a few students you recognise from your current primaries, and obviously then some students from around the different primaries in the area. I'm not your tutor, unfortunately. My name's Mrs. Shaw. When you come back to school in September, I will be the head of Year 11. You're very lucky that your tutor is going to be Miss Gibbons, who is a drama teacher, and she is a new teacher to the school and joining us in September. So with Miss Gibbons being new to the school, I thought it'd be more appropriate for me to go through the information just to make sure you are clear on everything. Firstly, like I said, you are in 7.1, so that will be your tutor when you arrive in September, but you will not stay in these phone groups for too long. We have got a new system that we launched last year where we group students based on need. So if you have an attendance need, an effort need, punctuality or behaviour, you will be grouped with similar students, and that is so that we can focus on whatever it is that you need that extra focus on within those 15 minutes every morning to help get the best of you so you can get the best out of your time at Romarsh. Don't need to worry about that though just yet. You will stay in your current form for quite a while you get used to the school. We won't move you on too quickly. Just a little bit of a look at the school day there. I won't read through it for you, you can see it on there. But just to say, when you first come in September, on those first couple of days, we're not going to put you straight into lessons. You will get your timetable just so you can start getting familiar with it. But you'll spend the first couple of days getting to know the school. You might do a little bit of a walk around the school with your timetable so you know where the actual lessons are you're going to, what subjects are in the different blocks, how you use the canteen, how PE lessons work, just some general, making hopefully you feel that little bit more comfortable before we let you go and you just start your learning and you get on with those lessons. Form period, which is obviously is meet the tutor tonight, is 20 minutes at the beginning of every day. There is a warning bell that goes at 8:40, just to give you a chance to get to your tutor lesson if you're hanging around somewhere else in school. But tutor does start at 8:45. So if you arrive in tutor after 8:45, you will receive a late mark. So that warning bell's there to give you plenty of time. If you are at the bottom of school and the warning bell rings, 5 minutes is more than enough time, even if your tutor is at the top of school. It doesn't take that long around the small site, so there's no excuses really for being late. You do have one assembly a week as a year group. That's the same for every single year group. As of yet, we haven't worked out which day everyone's assemblies will be on, but again, that is something you will find out in September. So every week, as a year group, you will meet in the hall and Mr. Bartle will talk you through subjects for that week or some thematic assemblies based around the Romarsh Way and the Romarsh Pledge. Tutor time, you'll do some themed learning, again based around the Romarsh Pledge and the Romarsh Way. You will be reviewing your data for the previous day, the previous week. It might be that it's half-termly data that you can look at. So your effort, your behaviour, your CFPs, which are course appraisers, or CFCs, which hopefully won't be an issue for most of you, which are causes for concern. The main thing I know we're getting a lot of questions about and will be key for parents is our uniform policy. Now, this is all on the website anyway for you, but I'll just run through it for you. It's quite basic: black jumper, black trousers, and white shirt and Romarsh tie. Jumpers and cardigans or trousers or skirts all need the Romarsh logo on the jumpers and the Bickersley Partnership Trust logo displayed on the trousers. Now, just for answering some questions that we've already had regarding uniform, I know some parents have expressed concern about other students currently in school wearing non-logo trousers. I can assure you that's not the truth. There's no students in school who wear non-logo trousers. There's no exceptions to the rule. If you are having any issues with sourcing your uniform, please let us know as soon as possible and we can assist you in that. Kinders, who is our main supplier, they are open currently, so they have reopened. I would recommend going into the shop and trying those on, especially the females. I know listening to feedback we had from last year's trousers, Pinders have now introduced a couple of extra styles. I know there's a high-waisted that the girls were asking for, so that is now in there. So I would recommend going in, having a little try on of some different styles, finding the one that best suits you, that you feel most comfortable in, so you are sorted for September. Again, now I will reiterate, if you are having any issues sourcing or getting the right sizing for your uniform, please let us know. Try not to turn up on the first day in September and say we couldn't get the uniform. Drop us an email, Mr. Bartle, the head of year, or Miss Tomlinson, our transition coordinator, and we will be able to help as much as we can. PE kit, again, all the branded PE kit. So the basic is your shorts and your t-shirt, which is exactly the same for boys and girls. The difference then we have is the girls have got a hoodie, although the boys are more than welcome to have the hoodie, and the boys have a little 3/4 zip top. Black socks, and that needs to be a change of socks for hygiene reasons. We don't want you spending all day in the same socks you've done PE in, and that goes the same for trainers. Because we do allow black leather trainers as school footwear now, we don't expect you to wear those same trainers within your PE lesson. They need to be a change. A lot of the time you'll be outside. British weather, it's normally raining, especially if you're on the field, it might be muddy. We don't want that all traipsing around school. You need a change of trainers. School footwear, I've already touched on this, so plain black leather footwear. No stripes, no logos, no big buckles, no big bows, just plain black leather or leather look shoes. So nice and simple, nothing too complicated about that. As you can see on the screen, trainers are allowed as long as they are plain black leather. Those Nike ones there are very popular ones, but you don't have to spend all that money on expensive footwear. Just a plain black pair of appropriate footwear that will last in the winter as well. So nothing too flimsy that if we're walking through puddles we're going to get our feet wet through. So nice sturdy shoes. I've already mentioned this one, so no big buckles, no big bows, no big white stripes or different colours on your shoes, just plain black, as simple as that. Again, if you've got any issues, by all means, send a picture to Mr. Bartle, ask the questions. You're better off asking than turning up and then finding out you've got it slightly wrong in September. Along with our uniform policy, no false nails, no false eyelashes, and that's across the whole school. So if you turn up in false eyelashes or false nails, you will be asked to remove them. If you can't remove them for whatever reason, you will not be allowed into lessons. You might be sent home, or you might be removed from lessons until you can sort that. It's very clear. I know that sounds really harsh, but it's the uniform policy, health and safety reasons. The eyelashes and nails aren't needed within school, and you've been given the warning. It's there on the policy, so everyone knows they follow the same rules, that they don't do them. Don't wear them, sorry. Same with jewellery, we'd like it kept to a minimum. Health and safety reasons, you are allowed a couple of studs in there. You could see the badges. If you see any of our students walking around with the uniform on, a lot of them wear these badges with pride, which is absolutely fantastic. Some of them haven't got room on their ties because they've got that many. But we don't encourage facial piercings, tongue, nose, lip, etc. And again, you will be asked to remove them. Just on a side note for that as well, because I'm a PE teacher, obviously anything like that you cannot wear in a PE lesson anyway. Even earrings, everything needs to be removed, hair tied back, etc. So the canteen, this might be a little bit of a worry for the Year 7 students, how they are going to get in and out. Obviously, we do have a lot of students in school and we don't have staggered breaks. Everyone goes at the same time. As a rule of thumb, and this will be the same for you guys, we let the Year 7s go at least 10 minutes early for the first few weeks while they're getting used to the canteen. So it's kind of 7s in first, they get queued up, out of the way, then we let the rest of the school out for lunch. There will be a point, obviously, when that needs to stop, and the Year 7s will release at the same time as the rest of the school. But hopefully by then they'll be used to the systems. They know what food's on offer. They know how to operate their thumb. They know where to line up, where to go. What I will say, a little bit of a tip for this, and it's personal preference. We do have 2 breaks. The second one is slightly later, 1:25. So most people do choose to eat in the first break, which makes the second break at 1:25 a lot quieter than first break. So if you're quite happy to eat at that time, a recommendation would be that you wait until second break, where it's a lot quieter. And of course, you can bring your packed lunch. You do not have to purchase food from the cafeteria either if you don't want to go in there. Along those lines, we do operate a cashless system. So everything goes through parent pay. Now, you will get letters sent out in September, very early on, so you can set up your login details and your account for parent pay. You can put money on to your student's account, so they've got money weekly, or the students can bring money in to put on their cells, and you can see just that machine on the slide there. So they've just put in, they have their thumbprint. So we will do that on the first day in September. We will scan everyone's thumbprint. The thumbprint doesn't work. They will also, at the same time, have been given a 4-digit code that they need to remember, and they can just press their code in there, put the coins in or put the note in, and the money will go on. What I will say with that is sometimes it's not automatic, so you need to be a little bit prepared for that. So if you know you've not got any money on, put it on the day before to give it a chance to clear on parent pay. On the machines, it does go on automatically on that day. But again, if you're someone like me, I mean, my 2 boys, if I gave them £10 note to put on their dinner, you can guarantee they'd have lost it on the way to school. So if you want to put it on yourself and monitor that, that is completely fine. At request as well, we can also send you details of what the students have been purchasing during their dinner times. So if you think your money's going down quite quickly, or you have a look and it hasn't been spent at all, so you're wondering if they've been eating, we can give you a breakdown of what your child has purchased within the week, month, etc. If you so wish, you just have to request that. Parent pay is also used for any online trips or anything like that. We operate a complete cashless system. So if at any point the school is asking you to pay something, you might be going on a trip, you might be paying towards, I don't know, some costume for a production you're in, or you might be buying tickets, everything goes through PayPal. So it's very important when you get that letter that you get your account set up as soon as possible. That's just some real brief examples of what's on the menu in the CAF. Obviously, they have different ones every day. We do have a breakfast club, so the CAF is open from about 8:15 in the morning. And we do also do a grab bag system. So in the morning during breakfast club, you can nip into the CAF, fill in a form, put your name on it, order exactly what you want for lunch. Then you don't have to enter the main cafeteria. There's a hatch round near the back, and you'll get shown all this in September, where you just give them your name, they'll give you your lunch, it's already there ready, you've already paid for it. Again, that's a lot quicker, so I would encourage, if you're someone who's not keen on getting in the queues, that's something to consider as well, having a grab bag. One of our Real Marsh Way statements is that we are equipped and always ready to learn. Every tutor group, every morning, you will be asked to get your equipment out, and Miss Gibbons will be checking that you are ready for the day and you've got everything you need. The last thing you want to be doing is going around every lesson, asking if you can borrow a pen, asking your friends if you can borrow a pen. You need to be taking responsibility and making sure that you are fully equipped yourself. Just a quick one again, you'll get a letter about this in September, close to the time. But I know old school, when I used to go to school and you were doing cooking or something like that in design technology, you got your list of ingredients and you had to bring them in with you on that day. We do it slightly different now, just to ensure that on that day every child has got their ingredients and knows what they're doing. So you'll get a letter asking you for a contribution around about £10. It obviously can vary from year to year, and that will cover the ingredients that your child will need for every cooking lesson, so they'll not have to bring everything in. So there's no worry about them forgetting everything, getting slightly the wrong thing. Everyone will be provided for them. Sam Learn is one of our online homework systems. So staff can set homework through Sam Learning, and there are also lots of online tasks on there that students can complete, little quizzes, little learning activities. That all gets logged, so we get a log of how many Sam Learning hours students have access, and we do give rewards out and praise, and it's all up around school, those students in school who've accessed the most Sam Learning hours and doing the most learning at home. Mobile phones is quite a big one. We are a non-mobile phone school. Now, that doesn't mean you aren't allowed your phones in school. It means they are not allowed to be visible. So the only time you are allowed your mobile phone out and visible is if in a lesson a member of staff has asked you to get your phone out. So they might have said, can you get your phone out and use the calculator? Can you get it out to video this? Can you download something? Lots of different reasons that could be the case. And at break times, if you are in a classroom only, so not you just walking out of the classroom, not you walking towards a classroom, if you are in a classroom, you are permitted to have your phone out at both break times. If at any point on the corridors, before lessons, during break time, in the corridors, outside, in the canteen, on the football courts, you are seen just with your phone in your hand, so it is out, your phone will be confiscated and you will be able to collect it at the end of the day. And that is without exception for anyone. So I know this day and age, a lot of people, their phones are glued to their hand. They say, I've just got it out to check the time, I've just got it out to do this. There are no excuses. You need to get into the habits very quickly. Phone's at the bottom of your bag. If you're in your classroom at break time, you can use it. Any other time, you do not get your phone out. That leads us nicely on to detentions. So obviously not a very nice topic to talk about, but I do need to let you know because it's important. I know for parents, you'll need to know this information. We do operate a same-day detention system. So that could be pastoral. So if you are late or you've had uniform issues or your head of year wants to see you for something in particular, faculty detention will come from an individual member of staff that day. So something that's happened in one of your lessons, maybe you didn't complete enough work, you didn't hand your homework in, or the member of staff just wants to chat with you at the end of the day, or the more serious one is your sanctioned detention. So we have a sanction system within lesson time. If the member of staff deems you to have been disrupting the learning of the rest of the class to the extent where they can no longer teach the rest of the class because they are having to deal with you, so in effect you are affecting the learning of everyone else in that class, you will be removed from that lesson and asked to go to a place called sanction, so you will not be in that lesson. If that happens, you then attend a detention after school at the time on the board, so that is the longest detention, and that member of staff will come and visit you. We'll do what we call a restorative meeting. You'll have a restorative conversation. You'll be able to put your point of view across the staff member about what you felt went wrong. The member of staff will be able to inform you how they felt it went wrong in the lesson, what they would have liked you to have done different, and then it's finished, so you can have a fresh start that next lesson you enter that member of staff with. For parents, you will get notice of these detentions that day, so it's automatic text messages sent to let you know that your child has got one of these detentions. If under extreme circumstances, for whatever reason, once you get that text message, you know that your child can't attend that detention, we do ask that please you get in touch with us as soon as possible. Obviously, we don't encourage cancelling detentions or rearranging detentions. We would like parents to be supportive with us in our discipline and sanctions within school to ensure that the students are getting the best out of their education. But I do appreciate there are some times when things crop up and it's a little bit difficult and there might need to be a little bit of leeway there, and just open that discussion with us, phone us, and we will see what we can do. Moving on to something a little bit more pleasant, so our rewards. We are massive on praising, and one of our Romarsh Way statements is that we are proud of our achievements and we never shy away from saying we've done well. That was brilliant. It's not something to be ashamed of. We should all be celebrating success in every way we can. So there's a big list of everything we do rewards-wise, and there'll be a lot more that we've missed that happen sporadically throughout the year, individually in people's lessons or departments. But that's just a small compiling of lists of some of the things that you can expect to be receiving praise for and getting recognition for when you are consistently getting it right in school, which is obviously what we strive for every student to be achieving every day. I've mentioned a couple of times the Romarsh Way. This is what our ethos within school, and you'll see these posters all the way around school. Also, if you're doing well in certain areas, you might receive a little postcard home that has got the Romarsh Way on. So it's all Can-do statements, we believe in ourselves, we take risks and rise to a challenge. Just all those, if you have a read through, is everything that we would expect our students at Romarsh to be abiding by. It is the Romarsh way. It's how staff present themselves and how staff approach their teaching and approach their attitude towards the students. And this is how we expect every student at Romarsh also to be portraying themselves. That leads on to our new initiative, which is the Romarsh Pledge. This is new in September, so it'll be new for you as Year 7s, but it'll also be a new system for the rest of school. It links to the Romarsh Way, and all 12 statements of the Romarsh Way are incorporated into the Romarsh Pledge. It's a hierarchy of tasks and challenges that we are expecting the students to complete throughout their journey to school, through school. So as you can see there, these are displayed in massive big displays around school. They've been put up while we've been off. There's bronze level, silver and gold, and there's a Key Stage 3 set of pledges, and then it moves on to Key Stage 4 as you get into that area. And hopefully students throughout the year will be working on these. It'll be discussed in Tutor, so you'll be able to log when you think you've achieved one of the pledges in one of the areas. Staff will be able to log when they think you've achieved something in their lesson. That gives evidence that you've achieved one of the pledges. It'll be celebrated in assemblies, weekly, half-termly, termly. Our big awards assemblies at the end of the year will heavily focus on the Romarsh Pledge. And like I said, it will all be logged continually throughout your school years at Romarsh. So then when you do come to leave in Year 11, you'll have got a big bank of information, of challenges, activities, tasks you have completed that are going to set you in good stead for going to college, going to university and out into the wider world. On that, because obviously next week would have been rollover and you would have come up to us, I want to set everyone in 7.1 a pledge to start, so you can start already and see if you can complete this pledge. Now this would give you a complete bronze on the active citizenship section, so just what it would complete one of your pledges on the active citizenship level, and it is to learn a new skill. So I put on there, if before you return in September, so you've got full 6-week holidays, you can start straight away now, can you complete this above challenge? So what you would need to do is first do the challenge, so learn a new skill. That could be anything from learning to speak Spanish, learning how to bake a cake, learning how to play the guitar, mine's gone blank. Various, my mind went blank there. Various new skills you could learn. What you would need to do is you need to provide evidence. So that could be a photo of you learning a new skill. It could be a video of you performing that new skill, maybe at the beginning and at the end. It could just be a diary, writing down when you've been practicing and showing us your timeline of learning that new skill. Or it could just be a demonstration of you doing that skill and you're saying, look, I couldn't do this before, but now look, I can do this. You'll be able to share this information with your phone group and your tutor group in September. It would be fantastic if everyone in 7.1 on that first day in September can be saying, I've learnt this new skill, this is mine, and you've all got that first bronze ticked off on the Romarsh Pledge. Just a quick look on our Chromebook scheme, something we do offer every year. Now, this isn't for us to make any money. We don't make any money for it. We just get them through a contract slightly cheaper than you'd be able to buy them in the shop. Not compulsory by any means. It's not that Year 7s you have to have a Chromebook in school and you have to bring it with you every day. It's not that at all. It's a little bit of a cheaper option than buying a laptop if you are thinking about that for your child now they're in Year 7. Like I said, it's not everyone must have one. It's if you were thinking about doing that, this is an offer you could look at if you wanted to do that. The information's all on chromebooks@romarsh.org if you want to read a little bit more about it. The portal for ordering doesn't open until August, so you've got plenty of time to ask any questions, have a read up on all the information on there. Sorry, that's the email address I just read out. You just need to go on our school website, romarsh.org, and go under the Chromebooks heading. Email chromebooks@romarsh.org if you have got any questions regarding that. I'd also like to direct you towards our website. So it is romarsh.org, and then on there you will find on one of the main headings on the top tabs is a section called Transition 2020. That's where you will find all the information you need about transition. There's lots of information already on there. This will go up, so the live recording will go up, as well as just the PowerPoint on its own in case you just want to look at the information without having my voiceover on it. And then in the coming weeks of rollover, anything that we send to primaries, that will be assemblies, we're doing some curriculum lessons and short little introductions to each curriculum area. Once they've been shared with primaries, they will also go onto the website, because we appreciate that all year sixes are still in school and accessing their school time. So everything that is sent out in any way will be put on the website. What I also want to draw your attention to on the website is there's a Google form on there under student questions. Now this is for the students now, so if any of you have got any questions as a student coming up in year 7 that you would like to ask another student, just log on to that form, type your question in, and then we will do a question and answer session in a few weeks to answer all those questions. And that can be absolutely anything. Now it might be, if you asked me, so if this happens, if I get lost here on the first day, or I haven't got my money on this day, what happens? Or what happens when you get into PE and you haven't got your shoes? It can be absolutely anything. Now, I'm sure most of the questions I could answer myself for you, but it might be that a student themselves might give you a slightly different perspective than I would as a member of staff. And it's quite nice sometimes to get that feeling from what they felt like, because it's going to be our current year 7s who answer these questions for us. So they were in the same position as you last year. So any feelings of anxiety, worry, anything you've got that you think, I'd really like to ask one of them how they felt when this happened, or what they did when this happened, please pop that question on there. We'll get our year 7s. They are very excited about answering them for you. And then, like I said, look out for on the website, and we will post that question and answer session. That just leaves me again, point you in the direction of our website. All this information is going on Transition 2020. Your head of year is Mr. Bartle. His email is there, and you all know the transition coordinator, Miss Tomlinson. If you have got any questions whatsoever, please ask them before we get there in September. Obviously, continue in September as well. I'm not saying that it stops, but what I am saying is even during the 6-week holidays, if something crops up, we will be there on email. We will answer and help in any way we can. We do pride ourselves on our 4-week transition. It's a fantastic tool for getting the kids in and getting them settled before September. Now, unfortunately, we've had to cancel that from reasons out of our control, but it doesn't mean we're not going to do everything in our power to make the year 6s into year 7 feel comfortable and it be as smooth and seamless as it is every year. So any questions, any worries, any queries, please drop us an email and we will be able to get that information out to you as soon as possible.